So, the first word of the Demoniacus Vama chant is IVZM. The second word, TZMVM. Third word, ZBVI. Fourth word, WZ. Fifth word, well, it's the name, ZTI VZH. Zm tazmavam zamvewazatevzah. Ivzm 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 tazmavam zamvewazatevzah. Okay. Enough to change how I feel in the head a bit. Agares, Agreas, Aguares, Aguares, Agarat, Agaros, Agarus, Argus. The Pseudo-Monarchia Daemonum says that it's the first Duke of the East, because most of the grimoires of the Solomonic, well, pseudo-Solomonic sort do not list Baal as a duke, who fetches those who run away or stops runners still in the tracks. Physical, overthrows spiritual and physical dignities, causes earthquakes. This is what it's believed about it. The Dictionnaire Infernal says that it appears as a lord, a master of a house or a master of a kingdom or something, riding a crocodile and carrying a ghost hawk, in the right hand, I think, or is it the left hand? Some of them say. Some say it was of the order of virtues, but I don't believe that the jinn ever were malaika. But in English and other languages, angel is rather ambiguous in that way. Over 31 legions. Some say it's of Lower Egypt. James Donahue says it can make the earth spirits dance, and that Tamiel, Dardariel, Doresiel, Carnathiel, and Barmiel are other names for this being. Stephanie Connolly says that it doesn't have any other names, but it teaches language and is a subordinate from the grimoire of Agarus. The demonic ranking system says that it helps with restoring the train of thought and represents will and individual presence. And Michael Ford says it gives gardening and friendship advice. And the Venusian scents include catnip, calamus, civet, cherry, musk, myrtle, vetiver, violet, wisteria, spearmint, lovage, dittany, cardamom, elder, dogwood, thyme, strawberry, savory, rose, red sandalwood, primrose, pomegranate, patchouli, almond, allspice, ambergris, benzoin, burdock, blueberry, orchid, and the music, the scientific music. Oh, I'm going to do the traditional E through F, but F sharp and Mixolydian in the fifth mode is the order of 9 angles tradition. Your typical tradition of calling up the dukes is in the morning during clear weather. The scientific musical tone of Venus would be 221.23 hertz, which is an A in the 32nd octave. At 103.7 beats per minute, 442.5 hertz over 440 hertz plus 9.6 centimeters. And Farragoff, I think this is a WordPress, I think, says that it likes booze and gives basic to life and work answers. Serpentis 666 says it's copper, likes the metal copper. Well, of course, Venus. Mars and Mercury. Tiger is the animal, day demon, and carnation. Argus, from Greek mythology, is a handsome male with 100 eyes. Basat says that it is, it teaches forbidden knowledge and was cursed into a breast of, it's a band. It's sung of how it taught forbidden knowledge and was punished by being cast into a vessel of brass, but it escaped from it, and I guess that would be the vessel of brass, now wouldn't it? Could also be a good design for a woman's dress. People would freak out when they find out that it's a demon sigil, but sigils have multiple meanings here, and they have multiple uses, so don't let yourself be discouraged. I forgot an experience that I should have shared in the Halahel segment, but we have from 2011 the Halahel Renunciation of Halahel 2011. The looky-look demon. 8:11 through 29, and that's what I listed. But Agreas is the first one that really gets a distinctive tale about it, because from Tuesday, the 29th of March, 2011, first harvest again, 8:05 to 8:36. No extra verses with this one is listed. I presume I used the pine candle, symbolizing magic in general. Magic, not per se in the sense of seher, but Agor is swallow, as in not the bird. But anyways, between me and the mirror, it came down in a cloud. It cleared into a more understandable form, but I couldn't recall. The cloud was a faint electric blue. I felt weightless. So, obviously, some sort of spirit visitation, or spirit leaving. Let's not judge these experiences for our, just decided, hey, I like what's going on here. I'm going to say something. So I like people to share their experiences in the comments if people do that sort of thing, or question or comment. But before I go into another experience here, I'm going to share some linguistics, because that's what I do. sojourn, dwelling, fear, afraid, dwell, stranger, assemble, whelp, young one, sound of a young lion. Gar, sojourn, traveler, fear. A walking within? A walking something. Alien. Sojourner. Chalkstone. Agar means to gather. Gra means to diminish, ledge, take away, restraint, abate, back, minish, small, withdraw. Ag is bake or cake. Os is do. Osh, waste. You know, as an osh, os has various meanings when you provide with Posel the no graven images rule, but obviously that does not apply to the alphabet having heads and stuff like this. That's not what they mean. Rus is demolish, pieces, ruin. Rash is head, chief, top, beginning, company, some, captain, first, principal, chepitals, chepiters, rulers. Rash is quake, shape, tremble, move, afraid, remove, earthquake, you know, because that's one of the attributes that are given to Agreas. Quaking, rattling, commotion, noise, fierceness, rushing. Rot is shatter, dash, vex. Always look in the language for further attributes, especially if you don't want surprised. Agar is swallow. An agur is some sort of unknown bird, if one's going to go that angle. Agrat or agrat is letter. Gersh is cast out, pasture, river, drive, cast, thrust, put, divorce, expel, trouble, put, annoy. And girth is crush, break, crushed, beaten. Arsh is request, betroth, spouse. Rush is head, inherit, leader. I've done Rush before. Arts, as an fear, terror, afraid, dread, terribly, break, affright, oppress, prevail. Rug, that's the only actually twisted rope letter that I've been using here. But anyways, you can go completely guttural or whatever with the gimmels and grief, dysfunctional, wrong, evil, wicked, shout, wickedness, ill, adversity, favored, noise, aloud, sadden, grievous, noise, naughty, harm, favor. And some Greek, Agaros is a courier or a postman. Agauros, admirable, proud. Agaros, I'm messing that up. But anyways, you know what I'm trying to say. Gushing or vigorously. Agreas is living in the fields, wild, brutal, cruel, furious, passion, malignant. Rest county, rural, rustic, wild, countryman, uncultured. Agrestes is country, rustic, wild, countryman, uncultured, and that's Latin. And agranus is commissioners for the division of publicans, and gros, another ancient Aramaic there, tread, juice. Grush is haste, twisting, pressing. Another Greek, Agaros, is a field or arable land, a state, being carried away. This is a town. Another Latin, Agresco, to sicken, fall ill, grow worse, be troubled. A state, yeah, also. So you definitely see some of what we've been looking at. Still no additional from the 2012 March 24, 8 to 8:16 p.m. I was very calm. I felt very sensitive. I felt a presence beneath and around me. I became heady. I grew tingly. The air was sparkly with colorful sparkles. I started to feel like I was being pulled in every direction. I quaked pleasantly for a second before the roaring euphoria flowed down. Every few seconds was another jolt. Each time I would see a dark place with electric blue and purple poles and squares and other shapes. There it was, a complex or simple shape. Okay. So, not too much from the 2013 edition. Now the symbols vary a little bit here. And that's important to look at the variance of the symbols, because they can tell you stuff that you may not otherwise say. But from Quran 6:1 to 10, 1850 through 53, 112, 1 through 114.6. Okay. 13, 1 through 4. 32, 23 through 21 through 30, 27, 29 through 37, 7, 54 through 50 through 64. The first chapter of Job, 1 through 12. Corinthians, 2 Corinthians 4, 1 through 4. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Ancient Egyptian would lead us to say Agas, food, or Agar Ew, or Agaliu, which would be a ball. Oh, I gotta be careful. I'm wearing away the writing, I guess. A chariot would be Agarthe. Agarthe. Okay, that would be a chariot. And Agal. Ooh, which could be the source of the Greek word, that Coptic word there, the name of that star that does the winking thing. Well, it's not a star. One star goes before another, and they kind of predict things based on that. But anyways, we have... Let's see which ones I did include. 6, 1 through 10, 754 through 64, 10... 18, 50 through 53, 13, 1 through 4, 27, 29 through 37, 32, 21 through 30, and 112, 1 through 114, 6 is extra verses from Quran that I use in the rituals, 2 Corinthians 4, 1 through 4, and Job 1, 1 through 12. And this was 8:28 through 9:13 p.m. On Wednesday the 27th of 2013, I felt calm and content. All sights and sounds outside of the ritual disappeared. I felt a presence a couple feet behind me. I saw a red glow. I felt flowing upon my skin. I saw green orbs at times and moving shadows. I was energized. I saw yellow lightning in a double flash. My pain and stiffness disappeared. My eyes undilated at 9:17 p.m. And, before I go into the other, I'd like to share another experience. And this was Friday, the 29th of March, 2013. And this would have been regarding Amduskias, Amduskas, with the verses from Quran 15:78 through 79, 16:10 through 11, 19:22 through 25, 22:18. So there's a prostration there, yes. 24:35, 31:27, 48:18, 54 1 through 22, 35:6, 56 12 through 79, 59 4 through 6, Isaiah 45 1 through 25. I guess no Ezekiel there. Kahlat is that Ecclesiastics or is that Lamentations? A Fraser wreath candle representing the vegetable, and 11 1 through 10 of Ecclesiastics, I believe. But anyways, 8:35 through 9:43 p.m. all besides me went silent. I felt a presence behind me, 3 feet eastward. I felt myself leave my body thrice. Aside from the doubling of vision, I saw a green flash in between each. I felt a pressure within and a tingling without. I saw upward jets of yellow. I trembled joyously. I felt a euphoric shuddering. I returned to a normative state at 9:59 p.m. And let me double check. Yelial would be what some people say that she goes to, but her. Hello, Blossom. Oh, let me before I go on. I had some Halahel realizations here. If I didn't share them there, the hair whore is the Coptic for her, and sure is demolish or pull down. Okay. Oh, it's kind of like the second half of the Tetragrammaton being the eternity, but it has that mouth for the or the o in the middle there. Her to bash but shame to confound. All these interesting little. When the guy with the stick shows up, you know something's wrong. Her, to be far from, or to be more from. Her is a furnace. Roer is to hesitate or defeat, but that would be hurl, to linger, would be the ancient Egyptian pronunciation. And har, to be glad, to rejoice. Halal, to blossom. In Coptic, that would be hera, to flower. Okay. Hor, or her, an ancient sky god. His right eye was the sun, and the left was the moon. People had the name Her. You know, it's where Horus comes from. And again, another her, somebody of the, of the second day of the month. But that is it with this part. A Kambamba stone will be the visual that we will be using for the 8th Enochian Key. Yawn, 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 yawn. Monday the 1st is as the 3rd heaven of hyacinth pillars 26, in whom the elders are become strong, which I have prepared for my own righteousness, saith the Lord, whose long continuance shall be as bucklers to the stooping dragon, and like unto the harvest of a widow. How many are there which remain in the glory of the earth, which are and shall not see death until this house fall and the dragon sink? Come away, for the thunders have spoken. Come away, for the crowns of the temple and the coat of him that is, was, and shall be crowned are divided. Come, appear to the terror of the earth, and to our comfort, and of such as are prepared. Basmelo eta perepson azavab ux kasarmang vrankis vagangdasa brahmang baltoha
Gohoean Solamean Soba Solamean Triantal Kisabewanin Onaziagier Kiss Dadas Paux Gusakausgodas Kiss Kakarg O Salman Lon Kaodvo Uina Carbafnis Obagle Awawagohan Esobagle Momaoseon Udmabzayadoyas Momar Poilap Ne Zamran Kiao Fe Kaos God Bleors Ud Corsita Abrame Divided, divided we are, and divided we shall be. Up above and below me, something I cannot say, because I don't know. A touch of light green, not a light green that we see here, but some lines with spaces were in the air around the stone, but forming sort of a layer, like the rock was a gravitational wave. The pulsing of the rock is coming to an end.